Hello, welcome back to MidEast in Depth, part of Levant TV's press reviews. Rayyan Abu Jawdi writes in the Lebanese Daily Star an article titled "Sparks Fly Over Hezbollah Arms at Pirkei Charter Debate," where participants were divided over the legitimacy of Hezbollah's arms during a conference discussing the National Charter of Pirkei, See of the Holy Maronite Catholic Patriarchate. Brigadier General Amin Hattait, a supporter of Hezbollah, said the Israeli threat to Lebanon, the inability of the Lebanese army to defend the country, and the recent emergence of extremist groups has made the arms of the resistance today more than an obligation and a necessity. According to Hattait, it is unacceptable to propose that Hezbollah give up its weapons before the Lebanese government is able to replace it. On the other hand, former MP Shaheen rejected Hattait's idea and said it was objectionable to discuss defending the country except in regard to legal Lebanese forces, calling for unified exclusive weapons that would only be in the hands of the state. The document announced by Cardinal and Lebanese Patriarch Bashar al-Rai in February calls for Lebanon's neutrality and for keeping military power under the exclusive authority of the state, as well as abolishing what is called self-security, which is a reference to Hezbollah's arsenal. The Charter also stresses the need for timely elections of a new president and for a Muslim-Christian partnership to run Lebanon. Former MP Farid al-Khazin said Lebanon was in dire need of a countrywide reconciliation in light of the precarious security situation. The Charter demands a dialogue and open debate. It's an attempt to avoid the abyss. Also on the matter, Julien Piquet writes in Al Monitor a piece titled "Senate Sanctions Bill Targets Hezbollah Enablers." A bipartisan group of senators introduced legislation on Tuesday requiring President Obama to report on countries that harbor Hezbollah. The writer says the Hezbollah International Financing Prevention Act of 2014, introduced by Senators Shaheen, who is a Democrat of New Hampshire, and Senator Marco Rubio, a Republican from Florida, closely tracks House legislation first revealed by Al Monitor in March, but puts more pressure on foreign countries to take action against Hezbollah. The Senate bill, like the House version, calls for sanctions against financial institutions, including central banks, that knowingly facilitate Hezbollah's activities. It targets providers that knowingly transmit the militia's propaganda channel Al-Manar TV. The Senate bill also requests that President consider adding Hezbollah to the list of significant narcotics traffickers or significant transnational criminal organizations, both designations that would give the government more authorities to target the group. And the Senate bill goes a step further, however, by requiring that the President provide Congress within 90 days of enactment with a list of countries in which Hezbollah maintains important portions of its global logistics networks, as well as a list of countries in which Hezbollah or any of its agents or affiliates conducts significant fundraising or financing. A Senate aide told Al Monitor the major difference is that this bill has some technical differences to target, to the greatest extent possible, Hezbollah's enablers. We added a reporting requirement examining third-party support to Hezbollah's financial and logistics networks. As with the House bill, the bill's sponsors said Hezbollah's support for the Assad regime in Syria was the main trigger for the legislation. And Republican Florida Senator Marco Rubio also made it clear the legislation is indirectly aimed at Iran. He said, "From the Middle East to our own hemisphere, Hezbollah, backed by its state sponsor Iran, threatens the United States, our allies and our interests. This legislation highlights the diverse illicit activities Hezbollah engages in to finance its operations and ensures that the United States is using all the tools at our disposal to shut down its networks." And today we are joined by Lebanese political commentator Joseph Barakat. Thank you very much for being on Press Review.
Thank you for inviting me.
What do you think, Mr. Barakat, of the Senate bill targeting Hezbollah enablers, meaning parties who are allegedly involved directly or indirectly with Hezbollah's activities? Senators Marco Rubio and Jeanne Shaheen are introducing legislation on Tuesday requiring President Obama to report on countries that harbor Hezbollah. What do you think of that?
Well, I think, to start with, let's start with something which there is an English say which I like very much. It says you reap what you sow, or if it walks like a duck or quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. Now, we tried for a very long time to highlight the danger of Hezbollah following the military ways of doing things, and Hezbollah involvement in the crisis of the Middle East and everywhere, overpassing the Lebanese government and sidelining the Lebanese government, and associating themselves very closely to Iran. And as we know, there is a major international problem between the Iranians and the Americans, and we tried for a very, very long time to highlight that issue and to highlight the danger of following that way, because if you get involved in trying to overturn governments and trying to support radicalist movements in different areas, of course, then you will trigger reaction from the Americans and from other countries, which you wouldn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that the right way of dealing with that issue, it's not, we do not want the destruction of Hezbollah or anything. Hezbollah, there are lots of Lebanese representing large fraction of the Lebanese and things like that. What we want Hezbollah to be is to be a political party like every other political party in Lebanon, working within the institutions and within the laws, It doesn't have to be, the way of violence every time we need something and it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the involvement of Hezbollah in many issues, and recently the widespread involvement in supporting the Syrian regime, of course, that brings such reactions, and it is actually expected.
Mm-hmm. Some analysts think that this is the main reason why the US is targeting Hezbollah now. Do you agree with this, that it's Hezbollah's intervention in Syria?
I think, to be honest with you, it's one raison de plus, one extra reason.
Mm-hmm.
Hezbollah started going off track ages ago. Mostly, we all remember the 7th of May, what happened because of what they call it, one small demand from the 14th of March. They decided to invade West Beirut. Yeah? So that wasn't like a reaction of a normal political party. In the West, they say, I despise what you say and I despise what you think, but I'm ready to die in a ditch to defend your right of thinking what you think and saying what you say. They do not say, if you don't do whatever I tell you to do, or if you don't think like the way I want you to think, I'm going to chop your head or blow your house or kidnap you or something like that.
Joseph Barakat, also member of the Lebanese Forces Party in Lebanon. Thank you very much for your participation. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye for now.